Welcome to Grace Among Us, the podcast where we unearth the many faces and places of grace and share stories of the power of grace in our human lives. Our desire is that this will inspire you to see grace in your own life and share it with others.
Hello, good morning, Ebony, Gilbert.
Good morning, Carri, Richard.
Welcome, everybody, to Grace Among Us. I am Carri Richard. I'm a mindset coach who helps people make space and enjoy the ride. And one of my very, very favorite things to do is point to all of the faces with grace with my dear, dear friend and all others. But today, my dear friend, Ebony Gilbert.
Thank you, Carri. I'm Ebony Gilbert, and it is a brisk Monday morning for me, but we are here, and I'm excited to talk to you, Carri, today and everyone else about whatever we're going to address today in the world of grace, which could be anything, infinite possibilities. We see it everywhere.
Awesome. You want me to get started?
Let's do it.
Okay. So one of the things I want to start with is there's this ability to, or I invite people to get curious about inviting grace in. Like you can ask for it, and it's not a mad search. It's more of just being open my eyes, allow me to see, right? And I was sweeping the office this morning and knew we were going to get to do this. And so it was like, okay, God, what's on tap? What's on tap today? And so I looked behind me. I have a lot of different things on the shelf. So one of the things I have is this beautiful bowl that was made actually by my sister-in-law's cousin. His name is Curtis. And he began this, I'm going to call it a ministry. He began creating these bowls. He'll take them and break them and then use this. It's the art of, and I hope I'm saying it right. And if I'm not, here we go. The art of Kintsugi. And we'll put it back together with, in the past, they would take vases or whatever, and they would mold it back together with gold. So in this, there's this concept. I'm just going to read this. All beautiful things carry distinctions of imperfection. Your wounds and imperfections are your beauty. Like the broken pottery mended with gold, we are all Kintsugi. Its philosophy and art state that breakage and mending are honest parts of a past which should not be hidden. Your wounds and healing are a part of your history, a part of who you are. Every beautiful thing is damaged. You are that beauty. We all are. So, I love this concept because it's another reminder that, like, this life is not all, and actually I have this in here. It's not all, I know you can't see this on the podcast, but I'm holding up a tiny unicorn. Because life is not all unicorns and rainbows. Like, I still get caught in this trap that, I judge my outsides, all the outside circumstances of whether I'm, quote, doing it right or not. And this is a reminder, when I see this, it's a reminder that, like, that's not the point. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to be graceful in the tough stuff, to allow grace to come in the tough stuff and to learn from it. So that's my offer here on the table today. And so I'm going to be quiet for a second, Ebony, and I'm going to see what you have to say.
So I too have a bowl by Curtis, compliments of you. And I look at it often because there's so much artistry in it. It's the prettiest bowl I have by far. And there's so much uniqueness to it. And there's no other bowl like it. And I saw you just hold up your bowl, made by the same guy, I presume around about the same time.
Yeah.
And you can see similarities, but they're definitely different. And it reminds me of a couple things. Number one, we're so unique. We're all so uniquely made. And it's special. And the fact that he breaks it to create this, there had to be a breaking to end up with this product, is fascinating to me. And then the third major thing that stands out to me is he breaks it, creates something beautiful. And then lastly, the in between part that you don't really give a lot of thought to. Like it starts with a breaking, it ends with this. This is gorgeous. But the in between, where he carefully mends it back together, but doesn't try to hide the seams. He actually highlights them with gold. So he's highlighting the imperfections with a very precious metal. That that middle part, that in between part, just really, really, really makes me feel good on the inside. And maybe I'm thinking too deeply into this, but it tells me I don't have to hide my perfections. They can actually be highlighted for glory. They can be highlighted for gold. The mending, the putting them back together again part, the middle part is what makes this beautiful. If it was a bowl that used transparent glue,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't see the imperfections. If it used epoxy or something along those lines, it wouldn't highlight the imperfections. But in order to use a product in high demand in a number of markets that's held its value for a very, very long time, has increased. In order to use something so high end, he invested a very high end service resource into this broken vessel to make it this beautiful. Oh man, that part right there, Carrie.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. I don't think we're going too deep. I just need to say that.
That part right there. The high end investment on what's seemingly broken. It's like pouring cash into stocks that you know are falling. And you just hope that your investment swings things around. But man, this bowl and the way God deals with us in his grace and how he pours his resources, his best, his finest resources into this broken ebony, this broken Carri. And it creates this beautiful vessel.
Yeah.
Pretty encouraging to me.
It is encouraging, and I just want to keep going with these, like, this imagery right now. I love that you talk about the process in the middle, like, the care and attention.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm gonna bring it. I talked to Curtis. This was not like he didn't just break a bowl and then start putting them together. Like this was a process for him over time, an investment to uh, kind of sometimes the bowls broke and they didn't go back together very beautifully. But he did not stop because the first time it didn't work out. Like he invested in the idea, in the knowing, in the believing that there was a beautiful product on the other end. And he just had to stay the course and allow the process to happen. So I'd like to say that not all of my mistakes, what I call mistakes, not all of my most painful moments, like, immediately showed up like this, like this beautiful end product. However, um, as you were talking about, like if you had sealed this bowl back up with epoxy or clear glue or tried to hide all the imperfections, like, it's not the whole picture. And when I do that, when I personally try to hide my imperfections or my past or the things that have happened to me, when I hide those, like, you can never know who I am. You don't
Yeah.
get the whole picture.
Yeah. And I imagine he didn't put these pieces back together all at the same time. So it's broken, it breaks, it shatters, crisis,
Yes.
and he has to carefully place each piece back together.
Right. And first, he's got to gather them up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it's still whole, it's still complete.
Yeah.
So you gather all the things that you may have missed or lost, put it together, piece by piece, and now you have a container that can hold things, and it's sturdy and it's strong. And the gold is the grace. The grace is the glue. The glue is the grace. The gold is the glue. Gold, glue, grace. Didn't know that was supposed to be alliterative, but it works for us, okay?
I like it.
Golden glue grace. It's cool. It's so cool.
And
It's so cool.
and it actually strengthens us, right?
Absolutely.
The other beautiful, we're gonna go all around this bowl. The other beautiful thing is no matter how many breaks I have on the outside, the vessel, the inside is still just as spacious.
Absolutely.
So I can be filled, for me, I am filled by God. I can be filled by God just as much when I'm broken as if this were a perfect bowl.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, the brokenness, the gold glue gives it texture.
Mm,
And now it's textured, which draws your eye to it. Now you really can see the capacity and depth, right?
yeah.
If this was just all clear black on the inside, you really struggle a little bit with depth perception because there's no texture, there's no depth. He's added texture.
I love that.
And there's something about texture, whether it's on walls, fabric, or whatever, that makes it even more luxurious. It makes it even more pristine. It feels good to the touch. It's more visually pleasing. So now he's made it even more interesting,
Yeah, more tactile.
more tactile.
And I love what keeps coming up is that idea he asks us to be salty, right? He doesn't ask us to just be run of the mill.
Mm-mm.
And, when I can share, hey, these are my imperfections, and you say, "Ooh, I have that imperfection. This is my imperfection." That connection, like, it just reminds me I am not alone on this planet.
The other thing that's coming to mind, Carrie, we're not alone on this planet. And as part of this process, because he's the crafter, he's the guy who's the artist here. His process is to break it to produce this.
Mhm. Mm.
It wasn't accidental. He didn't drop it and go, oops, waste not, want not. How do I make this art? It was designed to be broken. The end product had to be broken at some point along the way to generate this bowl with the golden grace. So what if, and we've touched on this before, controlled burn, what if the breaking, the graceful breaking that's occurring in your life is part of the design? It's part of the process. It has to be broken. It'd be no different than pottery going into the hot, what is it called, the kiln?
Mhm. Yep.
Going in there under the highest heat. It has to undergo this heat to bring out this product at the end. He had to break this. So what if we have to be broken at times? It's part of our process. It's part of our assembly line to be broken at some point with the full intent of being put back together again with some gold leaf and some
Yes.
grace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. It's like intentional
Yes.
breakage. And I can reflect in my life. I've touched on different intentional breakages. And kind of reflecting, often it's when I have edged God out, I am running the show. And, for me today, these intentional breakages are just an opportunity to walk further in the kingdom, just an opportunity to grow closer to something bigger than myself. And when I'm in the midst, it's not easy for me to say all that.
No, because first of all, you're not the artist.
No. Yeah.
You're not the potter. So you don't necessarily always see what the vision is for the end.
Oh.
Right? You're the pieces.
I don't see. It's not even often.
Don't see it.
I do not see. I can't see it.
So there's that exercise of our faith to know that the artist, the creator, the potter has me being molded and made and shifted and broken because they know the end. They know the beautiful product. And how do I get to a point where I can trust that with no doubt? None. I know that the end will be better than this. I know that. And even in knowing that, it's still hard sometimes, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? You know what I do in those moments some of the time? But one of the best things I can do is I reach out to somebody who knows that too.
A reminder. Because what did you just say? We're not alone in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the only one.
Mm-mm. In fact, I would be so bold as to say that everybody listening to this podcast has some sort of breakage going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just an encouragement that they're not alone. They didn't do it wrong. And as you say, which is the note I'm taking for the day, I am not the potter.
I'm not the potter.
I'm not the kiln either.
I'm just the clay.
Yeah.
I'm just the clay.
Yeah.
And even clay that you don't mold will change its form. It will harden. It will change its shape. So whether you choose to be on the wheel and be broken and crafted or not, something's going to happen just by the nature of seasons and heat and cold and temperature. So you might as well be intentional with the molding and allow yourself to be molded and broken and knowing that the end product is beautiful. Oh man, listen, we have had these bowls. I don't know how long you've had yours. I got mine, I think, in July of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at it and I love it, but I don't know if I've actually taken the time to think on this level about what this could easily represent in terms of grace, life, or whatever it may be. But I love it.
Me too. And hey, I want to give a shout out to Curtis Kotake. And
Yes.
if you are seeing this on YouTube, you can see them. If you're hearing this in your ears, you can go on YouTube and see them. But and if you're interested in your own bowl, please reach out to us, and we'll put the details in the description.
Did you read the back of this when you read the description?
I did not, but I'll let you.
So on the front of the card that comes with the bowl is the Kintsugi explanation by Bryant McGill. And then on the back, Curtis says this: may this bowl be a reminder of the strength and resilience you have within. And my goodness, is it not? It's a black bowl. It's a black hole. It could literally be considered a black hole, and then there's gold.
Yeah.
Absolutely a reminder of the strength and resilience we have within. Even in our weaknesses. That's the perfect time. That's the time of perfect surrender.
Absolutely.
This is cool. I love when these things come together like this. We're recording in the morning, so I feel like my voice is a little raspier than usual, but I'm super excited to talk about this. Super excited.
Me too.
Maybe Curtis can come talk with us.
I think that would be great. I would love to have him on. So, Curtis.
Plug for Curtis.
Yes. Yes, we will be reaching out to you. And to that point, Ebony, we are opening this up. If there are people out there who are listening who would like to come join us and speak about grace, what it looks like in their lives, and maybe possibly where they might have a bowl that's being put back together. I can't think of the word right now. Please reach out to us. This is an open table, and we would love to have you as a guest.
And there's no script. Like, you don't have to come knowing what to say.
No.
Just be open to the conversation and let's see how God shows up.
Absolutely.
Yes, 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 yes. I think I'm going to leave my bowl on my desk from now on.
I love it.
It typically sits in the kitchen, but I think I'm going to leave it on the desk for my reminder.
Nice. I might put it in front of me for a little while instead of behind me.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Close us out, Carrie. What are your final thoughts?
Oh, my final thoughts are just remember that, we all get broken. So first of all, it's okay. And second, the process, we have no control over the process except to be in it, to have faith in it, to allow grace in the process. That's what we have control or responsibility for. And, the final product is always better than we imagine.
Always.
Yeah. So we encourage you today. And as always, love to hear from you. So I think that's it, Ebony.
Very cool. I'll just say one thing. Remember that you are art. You are uniquely and creatively made. There's nothing else like there on planet like you. The artist, the creator knows what he's doing. He has something in mind for you. It's great. And even if you can't see it now, it's great. It's going to be great. Trust the process.
Amen. All right.
Grace out.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please let us know. We love to hear from you, and share it with a friend. Also, please be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. We hope you're leaving with another pointer to grace, a new perspective that will light it up in your own life. Until next time, be well, be bold, be kind to yourself, and be on the lookout.